Slightly lopsided. Oh, a little bit too far the other way. Try that. Nope. Not getting very far with this. Morning, not very well. Morning, Jackson. I think that's as good as I'm going to get today. Wind it down a little bit. And what do we have? Not a lot. So this is moving. DPSI, no volume. So we're watching it. Don't forget, guys, as you enter the chat, 10 taps on the screen is helping out with the algorithm. Hey, Les, let's get the likes up already. It just helps with the algorithm to push out to more people now that we are live. Stock market crashing once again. Here's the SPY. Zoom out. Let's put it on the 5 minute. Easy, and then, well, 60 minute. There you go. So down again. Will we get a bounce today? Stock market vomiting again. Will we get a bounce? If the SPY falls to kind of 383, we'll actually get a systematic trading halt. Currently 405. So I mean, it's got a long way to go, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility. Hey, Josh. Should be about right, I think. That'll do. That'll do. Could zoom in, but no, I've not altered the YouTube stream yet. I'm just getting everything ready. There you go. Not a lot moving, if I'm being completely honest. We've got DPSI is up huge amounts. BTTX you can't see on the scanners because I filter them out, but got it on the watch list. That's pretty much it, really. It's on a 5-minute. You might look at the areas. I don't like that right now. Needs more volume. Story of all last week. We need more volume. Yeah, Hernando, if someone's trying to contact you with a bad spelling, it's not me. This is my only Hustle with Tony account on TikTok. Unfortunately, when you get a decent following, you get all kinds of weirdos trying to jump on the back of you and scam people in my name. It's not me. Don't just block them, report them. They're impersonating me. Unfortunately, I don't have a blue tick, but you know. Let's see. Let's recommend me to all your friends. Let's get the follower count up, and I might get a blue tick. Who knows? ETTX is moving on the 1 minute, 5 minute. Have a look. Zoom out. Oh, we're breaking highs. ETTX looking good today. Did well on Thursday last week. Could have another day like that today. Cheers, Alistair. Not a financial advisor. Don't sue me. Which software, if you're referring to this here, is DAS Trader. DAS. Direct Access Software. Trader Pro. That's what it's called. DAS Trader Pro. A bit like Das Boot, you know, the German U-boat serial. $55. Well, guys, do we think the stock market is going to have a bounce today? Good morning, Alphabet. Let's have a look at the SPY as it stands right now. This is the SPY on the 1 minute. On the 60 minute, we're still down on the day. We're actually down, 1.5% already pre-market. After the vomit last Thursday and the continuation on Friday. Will we get a bounce today? That's a good question. Will we get a bounce? Or will we continue to sell off? Was the early part of the week last week an anomaly? Will we get a bit of a rally? What's the catalyst on the SPY? Macroeconomic conditions on the SPY. Yeah, I said would bleed into the other part of this week. I personally, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, as I like to say. I personally, I think we probably gonna get another sell-off today. We might get a bounce later in the week, but then I think we'll enter another period of consolidation before we get any significant rally. That's more than my own personal opinion. Yeah, I don't know why BTTX is moving. Don't know why it's up. It's just a continuation. I think had a good week last week, and then a sell-off on Friday, but it's already up, and it's up 30% today. So could be an interesting one. Well, we've not even reached last year's. We've not retraced 12 months yet. So a big crash was if we really retrace four quarters worth of gains. We've not retraced 12 months, so we'd have to get to kind of halt levels of about the SPY would have to get to about 380s, 385 that for us to get to March last year's prices. You know, it's. We are in a bit of a crash. I'll say crash. We're in a bit of a downturn. It's a bear market right now. No doubting that. Is it a crash? Not really, but it's a bear market for sure. It's a seller's market. Every day is a bad day to trade if it goes against you, Zoogle. Had a couple of those last week, and that was last week. And this is this week, and this week's going to be a green week, regardless of the market conditions. And that's the way. That's the mindset that you've got to approach the market. Just remember that most people trading the markets lose money. And well, everybody loses money at some stage in the markets. And if I look at my statistics right now, I'm still profitable on the year, but I had a very profitable Q1. I'm actually slightly down in Q2. So since the 1st of April, I've lost about $10,000. So absolutely, Alistair. I can continue to look at my my stats over the year, and you know, as long as I stay profitable on the year, I'm happy enough. Still over 300,000 in the green on the year. Well, actually, we're in May now, aren't we? So that's not strictly true. No, we're slightly under 300,000. We're 270,000 on the year. But still, that's more than I would have earned in my day job last in a full year. That's after 4 and a bit months. So it's still more than I would have earned the whole of all of last year, the whole of the year before I lost my position. I think from an investment perspective, so my question to you there, Dougal, is what was your trade plan when you entered? If you played long on Nvidia and AMD and you've lost 20%, was that your trade plan? Where was your stop? If you passed your stop, you should have cut it at your stop. The whole point is what I keep not so much demonstrating in some cases, but what I keep saying to everybody is, before you enter a trade, have it planned out. Have your stops in place. Have you take profits in place. You can take half of your position off at your take profit, so you're actually making profit, and then let the rest ride. You can move your stops up into a profitable situation, so that if it does retrace, then you're still going to make money on the entire trade. But what's more important is your stop loss. Always have a stop loss, particularly if you're swinging like you are with Nvidia and AMD. If you're swing trading with those, have your stop loss. If you're investing long term, the actual price doesn't matter. Now's a good time to actually dollar cost average. It's buying at a discount, and if it continues to fall, you buy at a bigger discount when your next dollar cost average. So if you're investing in Nvidia and AMD long term, and you've got a long term position with them, don't worry about it. Just add to your position. However, if you're trying to make money in the short to medium term, if you're swinging it for a profit rather than looking at long-term investing, then I would say have a look at where your stop loss was. If your stop loss should have, even if you didn't set it physically on your system, if you had one in mind when you entered the trade, how much were you looking to make on that trade? Your stop loss should have been, what, half or a third of that. So if you were looking to make $1,000, have you lost 500 already? If you have, you should have cut your So if you're holding Nvidia long term, and Nvidia and AMD, personally, this is not financial advice, but I believe in those companies long term. I think both companies are very good long term investments, and they both give good dividends as well. So. Now, if you're thinking about it from your portfolio, do you cut them out of your portfolio because you're losing ground on them, you're losing on the position? Well, my question to that would, what would you replace them with? Because right now, all stocks are losing ground at the moment. All the big, what would be considered the go-to investment stocks are losing ground at the moment. It's a bear market. It's a downwards market. So putting them out of your portfolio, from a long-term perspective, it may be a redundant effect, because what you're going to replace them with, you'll just have the same thing. What you're going to do is keep the money in the bank and wait for the market to turn around. Well, you could do that, or you could just buy at a discount. Just add to your position, dollar cost average with those positions. So, I mean, that's what I would be doing this month. I've not actually done any dollar cost averaging this month, if I'm being completely honest. I need to make some profits this month before I can do that. But yeah, I mean, Nvidia, I think long term it's got a good future. I think AMD long term got a good future. So just buy more. You're buying at a discount. When the markets recover, you'll be glad that you added to your position. If you're looking at, like I say, at the moment, if you've got a long term portfolio, now's a good time to dollar cost average. Buy at a discount, or even watch it go further and buy it at a bigger discount. Don't panic on your long-term portfolio. The markets only ever go one direction in the long term. Let me just pull up my trading view and show you what I'm talking about. So I'll pull up the SPY. So the SPY is the Spider ETF is kind of a go-to ETF to check the SPY. Now this is a weekly, okay? I just pull this out so you can actually see this a bit better. So this is the weekly. So if we're going back to 2020, So the SPY was down here at 2020, it was down at 280. It's gone all the way up to all-time highs of 480. So $200 a share. It's now down at 411. If we look at that particular chart, let's look at Nvidia. Slightly more volatile, but a similar looking chart. It was down here at 94 back in 2020. It's all the way up at 360s. It's not 350s at its all-time highs. It's down at 186. So, you know, yes, it's lost a lot off its all-time highs, but when the market turns around, it will move back to all-time highs again. AMD. Very similar chart. It could be the same chart as we just looked at with Nvidia. So down here at $60 a cent, so $60 a share, back in 2020, so 2 years ago, we went all the way up to 163 with the bull run. Yes, it's come down at a heavier pace, but that's a bear market. Will it go back up in the long run? I believe so. Not financial advice. I don't know what the market's going to do, but that's my belief, and that's how I'm investing in my long-term positions. Just now's a good time to average down. Look at where we were back in August of last year. We've just come back to there. So if you were dollar cost averaging in August, now we're looking at those kind of levels, or even July. But in the long term, those kind of companies, those really good quality companies, that if you do your due diligence, and I would advise before you get involved in any long-term investments, you do your own due diligence. If you hold your position and add to your position over the long term, it will come good. I mean, I don't mind talking about investing or swing trading. Primarily, this channel, as Alistair says, this is day trading. If you're looking at intraday moves, that's why we look at these garbage companies like BTTX, like Redbox. You know, these companies that they'll make a move and then they'll disappear. What did SPFM ever do? So we had SPFM. And look at this on the 60-minute. So we had. I'll zoom out. We had these moves on the 60-minute. When we rode it up a couple of weeks ago, it went from 220s all the way up to 1247, and we rode this momentum all the way up, and then it just sold off, and now it's back down at 220s. So that's intraday trading. We don't want to be investing. Companies, reliable, reputable companies like AMD, like Nvidia, like Micron, like Microsoft, all of these big, steady companies that make up the S&P 500. The majority of them, some of them are having a little bit of a tough time right now, like Facebook, or Meta as they're called now, like Netflix. But the majority of the S&P 500 are companies that you can just put your money in and forget. That's what a lot of people do. Do your own due diligence, pick out the ones that you like, the ones that have good prospects, that are being innovative, that have good returns, that look like they're growing. Pick out the really good ones, and that's what you invest in your money in. But you don't pick a stock like SPFM to invest long term. You ride the momentum on its way up, you get out before it starts making a move back down. That's day trading. We trade it intraday, so on this particular day we would have had a good day moving up, and then when it started to retrace, we cut our losses. We get out. Most of the days it's just been selling off. So that's the difference between investing and trading. In trading, you're looking to get in and get out for a profit. Investing, quite frankly, doesn't matter. You're just putting your money in there because you want your money to grow long term better than the market does. You want your money to grow long term better than it would do if it was stuck in a bank. That's what you're doing with investing. No, it never went back up. It never went back up. But look, that's what happens. Don't trade the news. And I didn't set a stop loss, so that was my look at. But set a stop loss, I would have probably got out for about a 3 or 4 grand loss. And I added to the position in a consolidation phase, which is one of the cardinal rules not to. So again, deviating from the strategy. So even people who are experienced, if you deviate from the strategy, you can lose money. Most people lose money because they don't have a strategy. But if you have a strategy and you deviate from it, you may as well not have a strategy. So, you know, a lot of these companies, like on Friday, garbage companies, they have the one day in the sunshine. You get a nice bit of news, one day in the sunshine, they pop up, then they sell off, and they're never heard of again. And a lot of these companies are like that. SBFM, as I was just showing you, was like that. Now, I dare say in the future, SBFM may have another run. It's a bioscience company. A lot of these bioscience companies are extremely volatile like that because the news can go one way or the other. They get great news from the FDA one day, and they'll get, you know, a new, I don't know, trial results will come in, and the FDA will give them approval on a new drug or whatever it is, and the stock price will shoot up, and it will go 3, 4, 5, 6x on its starting position in a day, and then 2 days later, we start seeing, you know, somebody died during those clinical trials, and then there's a lawsuit pending, and that stock price drops to virtually zero in a day. So bioscience stocks can be extremely volatile, and you can make really good gains, but you can lose everything as well. BEP in the long term. Brookfield Renewables. In the long term, let's have a look at it on the daily. It's very volatile. So it's not really been making. I don't know too much about the company, so I can't give you any thoughts on from a due diligence point of view. But over the last year, it's really just been trading sideways around that between $35 and $40, give or take. But there's not a lot I can say about it because I don't know too much about them as a company. So I'd have to do some due diligence from a long-term perspective. I can give you my opinion on on the short to medium term. And from a swing trade perspective, it's been battered, and you know, it has to have a bounce at some stage, or does it? That's the question. From an intraday perspective, let's have a look. There's no volume. That's a worry. So there's no intraday trade at the moment. It's just moving sideways, slightly above the VWAP, which is a bullish sentiment in that it's in an upwards trend, but there's no trades there at the moment from an intraday or swing trading perspective that I can see. On the 60-minute, if we're looking at it, let's zoom in a bit. If there was a catalyst, you might look to say it's moving upwards, but I don't know if there's a catalyst on that one. Long term, I can't give you a long-term position. I just don't think, for me, I wouldn't be investing in it. It's not looking significantly strong enough for me to invest in it long-term. But that's not saying it's not a good company, or it could be a good company. You've got to do your own due diligence, do your own research, and only invest in stocks and companies that you believe in. Sorry, I couldn't be more informative there, Adam. So we got rejected at 55 again. 54 previously. Now it's 55. Just waiting for that one mover today. we're not seeing a huge lot of movement. Let me just have a look at a few ETFs in the natural gas looks to be moving to the upside. Watch for some of the energy stocks to move shortly. And a bit of movement from one of the energy stocks. If you look at the scanners there, pre-market, the session, with the exception of Decision Point and Zanite acquisition, you've got Microsector, Direction Dailies, ProShares, Direction. They're all just ETFs. They're all just derivatives. So every single gainer, bar the top two, and neither of the top two are particularly appealing based on the relative volume. Every single one of these, so Microsectors, FANG, we've got Yang, SOX, the Short, Triple Q, all of these are just ETFs, derivatives. So we've got no stocks themselves that are actually moving up at the moment above $3. We do have BTTX. I can have a look at the sub $3 stocks whilst there's nothing else to look at. That makes a little bit of a different look. So CTK, I think by the looks of that, 1,000%, that's probably a reverse stock split. Let me just have a quick look at this. So this looks to me like to be like a reverse stock split. And it may not be. Yeah, it is. That's QTech, Logic Bio. So it's 87 cents at the moment. It's up 75%. So let's have a look at Logic Bio. Why is that moving? FDA lifts clinical hold on Logic Biotherapeutics IND for LB001 in pediatric patients with methylmalonic acidemia, whatever that is. Basically, they've had a clinical hold lifted by the FDA. That's why Hello GC is moving up. So right now it looks like it's those low price stocks again that I don't trade. But if you're trading low price stocks, there's quite a few to look at. Service Source was approached to lead their European business. Earnings due tomorrow. There you go. That's interesting news. Service Source International to be acquired by Concentrix in an all-cash transaction. That is interesting. If you're in the tech sector, you'll know why that's interesting. Take a look at ID for you. Well, that's the sum total of volume over the last minute. Look at it on the 5 minute. There's no from an intraday perspective, which is what this channel is about. Day trading, there's no day trades with this one, based on what I'm seeing. Look at it on the 60 minute, the daily. No, I don't like this chart at all. ID, so parts ID. we've got low range. It's not, doesn't seem to be going anywhere, is what I'm saying with this. So it's not selling off, so you can't short it. It's not rallying, so you can't go long with it. It's difficult from a short to medium term. If you like the stock and you're thinking about long-term investing based on a price of kind of 190, I can't see it being a great company to invest in. There are some diamonds in the rough out there, but the price of the stock usually is an indication that it's a garbage company. So I can't see any reason why I would buy ID stock at the moment, whether it's intraday or long term. Right, so you want me to have a look at ID crypto? Okay, well, let me pull up my trading view. IDEX or IDX? Which what ticker does it trade in under? You're looking at IDEX or have to give me a little bit more information. I can have a conversation about it. Well, if it's not on any exchanges, then where are you getting the price from? If it's just in minting stage, it's going to be difficult. They'll be putting out their own price, but it's probably not there. So I look on TradingView, which has all of the exchanges out there, all of the coin exchanges. So if it's not on, if I can't see it on TradingView, I can't give you an opinion. Quite simple. And if it's one of those obscure coins that, obscure tokens that is not known by the wider masses, I can't give you opinion. What I would say is do your own due diligence. Does it have any real world utility? From a crypto perspective, ask if you're thinking about investing in one of these low price, low cap coins or low cap tokens. Do a bit of due diligence, but questions you should be asking yourself is, does it have real world utility? So for it to moon, it will have to have real world utility. That's, again, not financial advice, but my opinion, and something that a lot of people will agree with. If it's not got real world utility, it probably could be a social media pump and dump. If it's got real world utility, does it have a use case? Secondly, does it have a documented roadmap? So does it have milestones that it's about to try to achieve, or does it have plans that are documented? They usually have a website, they usually have a following. And again, does it have a good following? Does it have a good community? Does it have a strong community? So those are things I would ask if you're getting involved in crypto, you're getting involved in some of the lower cap coins. Those are questions that I would ask yourself before you actually invest. Otherwise, you see something at a low price that's being pumped on social media, stick a couple of £100 in there and gamble. That's fine. You might lose the whole thing, or it might pump. And then the question is, how quickly can you get out of it once you've made your gains? So quite a few of these tokens, and NFTs are a huge thing about this, is they make the gains in terms of value, but then you can't sell it, so you can't realize those gains. So you've got to make sure that you can actually trade it on one of these, or swap it for other coins on one of these coin exchanges. If all you're doing is sending money to a website, or sending another token on a website for a number of those particular tokens, how do you get your money back if it does increase in value? Well, there's a few biometric wallets out there. So I don't know if you're saying it's got the first biometric wallet. There are a few wallets out there that have biometrics. I've got a thumb drive that's exactly that. It reads your thumbprint. got a crypto wallet that's it reads your thumbprint. When you plug it into the USB, it reads your thumbprint for access to your wallet. So hey Darren, how you doing? Good to see you back. Always welcome. Hey Marion. No, absolutely. For the SPY, it's looking quite pessimistic. We're definitely in a bear market at the moment, and that's okay. I don't mind being in a bear market. If we're trending in a bear market, then there's always something going against. Or we can short. It's a bit more expensive to short. And yes, I absolutely do have the courage to trade this month. What I do in one day has no bearing on the next. It's the same way as when I gain on a stock. That doesn't mean I'm going to gain on it the next day. If the stock moons, if I lose on a stock, doesn't mean I'm going to lose on it the next day. What's happened last week happened last week. What happens this week is down to me. You know, I've analyzed where I went wrong every single day. When I finish trading, I will go away, whether I've had a good day or a bad day. I'll go away, recap, then come back and I'll analyze the trades. What did I do wrong? And I know exactly what I did wrong. So if you're able to do that and learn from that so that you don't do it again, that's all that matters. You know, every trader has green periods and red periods. I went through it. You know, the first three months of this year were very lucrative for me. I was up and down in April, still made a profit, but I've started off May badly. But it took me 3 weeks to get green in April, so only the last week of April gave me a green month. Otherwise, I was going to be green. So, you know, May could be exactly the same. We'll see. The only way you do that is by getting it there and trading the market as we get the moves. Trade the moves as they come. And of course, you get the haters in the comments. I had one yesterday, came back in the comments, says, I've been on his streams and he only ever loses money. I'm like, you've clearly not been on all my streams. So yeah, I might have lost money this last week, but that's the whole point of being transparent. You can lose money. The trading in the markets is risky. Of course you can lose money. Anybody that says they don't lose money and they don't have red days is lying. And if you making claims that you're a profitable trader in the market, prove it. Trade live like I did. Otherwise, shut your mouth and, you know, don't comment. If you're prepared to show your gains as well as show your losses as well as your gains, that's the what's the word I'm looking for? That's the proof in the pudding right there. Is if they're not prepared to show the losses, if they're not, all they're doing is they're not trading live and all they're doing is saying, look what I did today. And then they'll show you a report that says how much they've made, but anybody can manipulate that. You know, get a good Photoshop. Anyone can manipulate that. Do it live. Do it live while people are watching. They can actually see you taking your entries. They can actually see you making your gains, like I did. But also, likewise, they can see when you make your losses, and they can actually see that when you analyze it, why you made your losses, so they can learn from your losses the same way you can. Otherwise, you know, you've no business going on social media kind of saying how profitable you are if you're not profitable. Transparency, absolutely so good. You know, and I say every single day when people say, how do I get into trading? My first bit of advice is, do you really want to? It's risky. Most people lose money. And I'm no different. I lose money as well as gain money. The only difference between me and a consistent loser is that I have a high degree of accuracy in terms of my trades, and although this last month is not it's not been that way, sort of this last week it hasn't been that way, I have a strategy that if I stick to it is consistently profitable. Now, this last week, I didn't stick to it. And the last time I didn't stick to it, so I was trading, I think it was actually BTTX I traded and lost because it's sub $3 stock. And it might just be a psychological thing with me. It might be something that I'm not completely aware of. But when I trade sub $3 stocks, I tend to lose money. I don't always lose money, but the statistics are there that show me that if I'm trading sub $3 stocks, I lose more often than I win. Last week was very choppy. The first couple of days in the I would say the first 3 days, extremely choppy. I managed to get green on Wednesday, had a good day on Thursday, and then Friday, that was my own fault. That was my own fault. I should have been, I was what, about 2,500 up at the time when it started consolidating. I should have cut my position there instead of adding big in a consolidation phase. One of the rules of trading is day trading is you don't, you manage your risk, and time exposure is increased risk. So yes, I was adding big because we were at just above a support level, but there was nothing to say that we wouldn't flush below that support level, and that's exactly what we did. So adding big on a consolidation phase is a big mistake, and something I know I shouldn't have done. So that was Friday. Like, as long as you can, if you look at your trade after the fact and say, I don't know how I lost, I don't know how I've not made money on that trade, that's when there's something wrong. If you look at your trade after the fact and say, yeah, I know why I lost there, I know what I did wrong, then it's not a bad result, regardless. Welcome back, Jack. But you're right, last week the markets were very difficult, Fran. And I don't think they're going to be any better this week. You've just got to manage your risk. Wait for those... Ooh, this could be interesting. Edible garden. Get the scanners. IPO from last week. Sold off. Might get a bounce on this one. Pop that on there because just in case. Might get a bounce. The predictability of IPO movements is somewhat varied. It depends on the IPO and it depends on the market conditions as well. But the fact that it sold off on its first day, it popped up, then sold off. It did start making a bit of a recovery, but it's only popped up above $3 just briefly. So the volume weighted average price is 298. So I want to see it above the VWAP where I can trade that, but I'll put it on there just and keep an eye on it. Well, the markets aren't crashing. So everybody talks about market crash, and I think we've got to be careful in how we word the market crash. So 2011 we had 2001 we had a market crash after 9/11. We had a market crash in 2008 when the whole thing was like a house of cards built on the derivatives of bad debt. We had a market crash 2 years ago when the whole economy had to shut down, but that was kind of a false crash, because as soon as the economy opened up again, we went back onto all-time highs. So we need to be careful about market crash. Being in a bear market doesn't necessarily mean that the market is crashing. It means that we're in a selling phase. Being in a bull market, it means we're in a buying phase where the market prices, share prices are going up versus share prices coming down. The two sides of the same coin. You're always going to have bear markets followed by bull markets and bull markets followed by bear markets. It's cyclical. Of course, in between those, you do have the range markets where you trade sideways for a little bit, but if you look at those in a micro level, you've still got periods of up and down as well. So, but a crash is, you know, how would you define a crash? Personally, I would say if we lose lose a year's gains in a quarter, then I would say we're probably in a crash. But we've not done that. But I would agree with you. All the technical analysis that people are saying is saying that we're going to continue to sell off. I said last week that we'll probably continue to bleed into this week. Bearish bias, absolutely. Market crash, I'm not so sure. Recession, Marion, absolutely. I think we're on the cusp of that already, aren't we? Most with the inflation the way it's at, everybody's GDPs are in a downwards setting with the Ukrainian conflict. I just think the price of fuel. I think there's just so much adding to, and we're already in a bearish trend before all of that at the start of the year. So I just think it's all kind of perfect storm. It's all adding together to promote that recession. You know, multiple factors. Question is, how long will it last? Okay, I'll get rid of the $3 stocks because I know they're entertaining, but I'm not trading them. So Rivian down on the day, but just made a little move to the upside. See, I don't know how to trade this one. I look at it on the day, look at it on the 60-minute, for example. It's just sold off, and it's not actually got any products, Rivian, at the moment. If you look at it from a fundamental perspective, it's an EV manufacturer that doesn't have any EVs. It's pre-production, so it doesn't actually have any products. And this is the problem with it. You never know whether it's going to be a good company or not. If reported sales and things like that, you never know it's going to be a good company if it doesn't actually have products out in the market being tested and being used and being bought and sold. So I'm a little bit worried about Rivian. Just looking at it on the daily or even on the weekly, it's just been downwards trend since it originally IPO'd. Exactly. It's it doesn't instill huge confidence, Fran. That's all I'm saying. If you're looking for a new company to invest in, that wouldn't be the chart that you'd be looking for. Sound like Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is not the chart that you're looking for. So how many people we got today? Decent following today. Let's get to 2,000 likes. Before the open. Lame joke. I'm the king of lame jokes. Dad jokes. I am a dad, so you know. But a couple of pints of Guinness inside me, and they come out for free. Give you that one for free. Lame jokes are my speciality. Should write a book of lame jokes. I've got so many. I don't think any of my jokes make people laugh. They make people go, oh. A couple of edgier jokes that make people go, ah, and then they go, ooh. Those are the best ones. So what do we think, guys? Who else thinks the market will continue to sell off? Who thinks we'll get a bit of bounce? Who thinks that my Tesla calls will actually get back in the money? Now that's a lame joke, not very well. My Tesla calls, when I could have sold them when they were in the money last week, and I should have, not only could I, but I should have sold them, and I didn't. That's worse than any of mine, that one, Alistair. You can tell you're a dad as well. Ooh. Got to looking at some of the former movers over the last week, or last couple of weeks. ATA, just selling. Looking at this, it's looking very weak on the 60-minute, on the daily. It's not looking great. Looks like it's had its moment in the sun. On the 60-minute, you can see last week or so, it's just done nothing but sell off. This little move up, and then so it looks like it's had its moment in the sun. Does Ethereum. Redbox was a good continued to move last week after its initial popped up, but again this looks like it's starting to sell off. It's a continuous downward trend, so looks like that's had its moment in the sun as well. Funko Pops, that popped up, had a good continuation on Friday. The initial pop up and then the continuation on Friday morning. It popped up on good news. I want to see if this has a continuation today. BBIG, again, Friday's pop-up, consolidating over $3. Yeah, my Tesla calls don't look like they're going to be in any danger of paying out at this moment in time. 950 calls for June the 3rd. I've got 3 weeks. Don't say that, Les. I need it back over 950. I need it back over 900 just to break even. Bought my calls at 880, so I need it over 900 now. But I've got till June the 3rd, so it can go down to 800 after I've got back in the money. Should have hedged with some puts when it dropped below 880. Hey, look. It's my own fault again. My own fault. I didn't take the profit when it was there. When it reached at 950 last week, I should have sold them. My thoughts on staying long on Amazon, Fubo, Google, Facebook, etc. It depends on your objective. If you're in it long term, if you're looking for, if you're just swinging them, then you might be in for a bit of a rude awakening. You should have had a stop loss in there anyway. You probably would have reached that stop loss with the sell-off over the last week, which means you should be out by now. If you're in it long term, because these are all companies, well, maybe with the exception of Facebook, but these are all companies that a lot of people have in their portfolio that in the long term will come good. So Amazon, Google, or Alphabet as it is, Fubo, a lot of these companies, they're just selling, their chart doesn't look any different to the wider market. So as long as they're not deviating from the market, you know that it's a relatively safe bet long term. The question, and again, similar to what I was asked earlier with regards to Nvidia and AMD, the question I would ask is, if you're going to take them out of your portfolio because they're losing money right now, what are you going to replace them with? Because it doesn't matter. The S&P 500 is in a bearish sentiment right now. So all of these stocks that would be mainstays of most people's portfolios, you can either take them out and let your equity just sit in your account and do nothing, or you can add to the position. You look at it as an opportunity for dollar cost averaging, which is what a lot of people should be doing right now. Buy the dip, buy at a discount, add to your position, because long term, these companies that are the majority of companies that make up the S&P 5 will make gains in the long term. So they will recover when the market starts to recover, and inevitably it will do. When the market does start to recover, they will move to the upside with the wider market. The question that you should be asking yourself is, what's my current average buy price? And do I want to buy now, an dollar cost average now, or do I dollar cost average when I believe, and this is down to your own analysis, when I believe that we're hitting the bottom, we're getting a bounce on the bottom? That's decisions that you need to make. But going long, staying long on them, I would say if you're in it long term, average down. If you are swinging on those, or you're looking for intraday trades, then you've probably hit your stop loss already. Oh, you should have. What's this one? Very small volume. Just popped up. Let's see what it is. Hemisphere Media. What's the catalyst on this? All right. Okay. So, Visi Univision to acquire Pantaya from Hemisphere Media Group. Terms not disclosed. That's why this is moving up. So, not a huge volume at this moment in time. They only, on average, trade about 117,000 shares a day. So, they've already traded more than half that, based on that news. So if this gets to decent volume, and I would say it needs to be trading at least 20, pre-market, at least 20,000 shares a minute. If it gets to decent volume, then it could be interesting. No problem, buddy. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just offering my opinion. Don't sue me. But likewise, a lot of these stocks that make up the S&P 500. People are starting to worry about them because they've lost so much. Now, Facebook or Meta as they are now, I would be worried about. Netflix, I think, is unusual losses. But the rest of them, yeah, I mean, let's look at Facebook, for example, or Meta, and look at it on the 60-minute. And if we zoom out, we had this huge move up a couple of weeks ago. Huge move up on Meta, and then I had sell-off. So look at it on the daily though. This is the bit that's worrying. We did try and make some moves up. So we actually gapped up there. This is the bit that's worrying. It was up at 340s back in February, and just lost a third of its value overnight. That's the worry of Facebook. That's not normal earnings reports or anything like that. That's just not normal. Now, since then, we continued to sell off for a little while. Then we had a consolidation and then a bit of a rally. Then the markets have took hold in April, and we've come back down. So we gapped up there a couple of weeks ago. So Facebook could bounce back up. Will it get back up over $300? I'm not so sure, but it could be a good time to buy right now. I think it's probably at its bottom is around kind of 180, 190. My own personal opinion. Now look at Netflix. So Netflix, back in January, had this earnings report came out, gap down. Then we got a little bit of a bounce. Then it was slow but steady sell-off. So then we had this earnings report came out for this quarter last month, and it gapped down again. So we've not had the bounce though. We had the bounce here, but we've not had the bounce yet. The problem is with Netflix is it needs to bounce in adverse market conditions right now, and I can't see it doing that. So we've not had a significant increase on a daily that signifies that it's at its bottom yet. So I can see Netflix continuing to sell. I can see Netflix potentially getting as low as 150 before it has any kind of turnaround. They really need to come up with an idea of keeping hold of their own customers. Their announcement, I don't know, think about it. When they announced that they're going to be cracking down on password sharing, didn't endear them to the public, and the fact that they've actually lost customers as well, the competition that's in the market, Netflix isn't looking very strong right now. So they need to turn that around. I mean, and historically, they are a very innovative company. So if anyone can turn it around, they can, but we need to see them do it. All the YouTube darlings have taken massive hits. Absolutely, absolutely. Most people, if I'm being completely honest, anybody that is actively trading last week, if you didn't lose money last week, fair play to you. Because last week was extremely tough trading. And to be fair, days and weeks like we had last week, at the early part of the week in particular, are not normal. We don't normally have that level of choppy markets, you know. SOPA. I'll have a look at SOPA for you. This is on the daily. Oh, you were telling me it's moving. Yeah, it's moved up. Having a good, nice little pop. See why this is. I want to look at the okay, just financial results by the looks of it. So financial results popped out 15 minutes ago, which is when this pop started. So Society Pass reports Q1 2022 financial results. sees a 4,582% year-on-year revenue growth and cash on hand growth of 33% year over year. Those are good numbers. That's good earnings from SOPA. That's unconfirmed earnings though, which will come out in 2 weeks' time. But if they're confirmed, that looks like it needed a bounce as well, because it was down about 30% over the last month. And look at it on the daily. Society Pass, that's a 60. Look at it on the daily. Zoom in. See how much it's fallen from these levels. That's when I traded it. I want to get rid of that. That would have been March, when it was above $3. Yeah, so it's gapping up a huge amount of yeah, we had this support at $3. The resistance there at 265, so it potentially could get back above $3 today based on those earnings results. We want to watch. It's good volume too. 3.5 million shares traded already. As you know, Quays, I don't do stock picks and I don't do signals, but I'm just calling out the market as I see it. Good morning, Nessa. And Society Pass is having a good moment. Just announced financial results 15 minutes ago, and as you can see, that's started a bit of a run. I'm tempted to trade it, but I'm not going to, not until it breaks $3. This is nearly 40% up on the day. I don't have anything in my sights today. I have a zero watch list for the first time in a long time right now, Ronan. And the simple reason for that is that all of the movers at the moment are sub $3. We've got some good movers sub $3, but if I take the filter off for $3, you'll see. So Logic Bio is moving well. Service Source going to be acquired. Society Pass, this is what I'm looking at the moment. BTTX I was looking at earlier, Better Therapeutics. That's up good as well, 24%. Again, on good volume as well. So what you've got to look at is not just the gain, but also the volume. Is it moving up on good volume? And there's quite a few that are. Exelitech is moving up. Let's have a look at Exelitech. A lot of people ask me about Xella. So it looks to be moving up today. Currently up 10% nearly. Very, very cheap stock, very low price stock. If you like Xella, having a good day. Don't know why. Have a quick look at if there is a catalyst as to why. There's a conference call tomorrow with regards to Q1 earnings. That's about it. Society Pass bounced on the VWAP at 240s, moving back up again. Potential entry at over 260, 261. Yeah, we're in a bear market. If you're long biased, bear markets aren't usually favourable, so you might have to change your strategy and go short. Thanks for that Society Pass call there, Marion. Appreciate that, because that's not on my scanners, so a lot of people do want to see the sub $3 stocks. It's a difficult market right now. And the SPY, if you look at the SPY range, we're slightly above the VWAP, which is not bad, but it's very choppy. Very choppy indeed. Just be careful out there, guys. If you're trading intraday, whether it's futures, whether it's commodities, whether it's crypto. I've not looked at crypto today, actually. Hey, Matt, how you doing? I'll have a look at the crypto market for us. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. This is our friend Bitcoin. And we're below 33,000 now, which is not a good thing. When it broke 36, when we started getting this consolidation, if you will, there was a bit of support around the 36,000 mark. I thought, okay, we might get support there and move back to the upside. When it broke significantly below 36, that's not a good sign. We've not shown any kind of resistance or any support to it falling further. So we're actually getting a bit of a sell-off on Bitcoin. And it's in line with the wider markets as well, and particularly the tech sector. But below 33, if this gets below $30, I'm going to be absolutely loading up with Bitcoin. I will take all of my XRP and stick it into Bitcoin. If it gets below 30,000. Just saying. Just what I'm going to do. No, it's not financial advice, but it's looking very bearish right now. And I think, like I say, if it falls below 30, it's buying opportunity. Potential bit buying more opportunity anyway with Bitcoin, but gotta have a line in the sand. On the SPY there, Marion? Or on SOPA? Ah, that one, yeah. Good stuff. Glad to see you making money, buddy. What we like to see. Seven minutes to the bell. Right now, we're just looking for stocks to trade that fall in line with my strategy. Don't want to be listening to this music for a couple of hours. I just want to be concentrating on something that makes me money. And we'll get something at some point today. We'll get something that really moves. I've got a feeling in my bones. Where's BTTX at? It's down below the VWAP, so it's started to pull back now. Society Pass is having a good day, but this is the first red candle. Oh, it's not. So this could be the first red candle on the 5 minute. I like how it's been kind of hugging the VWAP here as support every time it's come back down. So that could be one area to watch. VWAP currently 250, 249 plus change, so 250. So do we think market up or down at the open? Red or green at the open, guys? I'm not saying red or green on the day. I think the general consensus that we will continue in a bearish trend for the day, but red or green at the open? That's the question. At this moment in time, if the Society Pass, this is on the 1 minute. What you can see is on the 1 minute. On YouTube, you can see the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 60 minute, and on the daily. And that's also the same on Twitch and Twitter. Palantir hemorrhaged this morning because they released the results. Yeah, it's still selling off. Palantir is not in a good moment. And every time Palantir comes up to meet the VWAP, could be a chance to short it. Look at it on the 5 minute. So we had this huge sell-off, the bounce, VWAP fade. This is a classic VWAP fade strategy you could apply on this one. So up to the VWAP, starts to sell off. Up to the VWAP, sell off. Back up, sell off. So if this comes back up to the VWAP, short it. Yes. Eversource Energy. There's no volume at all there, Marion. What time frame are you looking at? Just all energy stocks at the moment. I expect energy stocks to have a bit of a run today, to wherever they are. So let's look at Indonesian energy. We've traded probably on the way up. Let's look at it on the 5 minute. There's no volume just yet. We're getting US gas. Lack of volume. Houston American. Lack of volume. But gas futures are up, so the prices of gas are going up. So it wouldn't surprise me if energy stocks do go up today. But then again, the market can be irrational and illogical. Can be illogical longer than I can stay solvent. So Yes, Squibby, everything's down. Looking at the SPY, looking at the Qs. Look at it on the 30 minutes so you can see it better. Look at it. This is the Qs, which is representative of the Nasdaq. The SPY representative of the S&P 5. Here, which is Dow Jones. They're all down. They're all down. Russell also down. So they're all exhibiting very similar patterns. The Russell and the Dow very similar. The Qs very similar to the SPY. So they're all down, exhibiting very similar patterns. There's the market open. What are we going to get? What am I going to get? I'm going to put the market scanners onto regular hours and see what the market gives me today. Got no watches for the open, so I'm just going to wait for some momentum stocks to present themselves. I'll look at the SPY in the first instance on the 1 minute. So this is the general market. Well, it looks like we're going to get a little bit of a green move in the open. It's not a very strong green move, even if it is. ETTX is selling off. DPSI selling off. Looking for any kind of halts or price spikes of any significant levels. My signals ticker is all red. Everything's spiking down. Yet the SPY is trying to make a move upwards. Nice. Look at CVM. Low volume. Oh, that's high of 273. Be interesting if we get above 275, $3/4 level. Looking for this to test $3. We'll get over $3 with Society Pass. That's the question. Great earnings today. Great earnings report. We broke the pre-market highs, had that little spurt, and a bit of a pullback, and that's going to be the. Looks like it's going to be the tune of the day. It's consolidation. Okay, that made first candle to make a new low with me getting it. That's okay. So let's. What else is moving? Someone said BBIG. Yeah, I thought I'd give it a try, but then the first candle to make a new low after I've got in, I'm just getting out. That's why very tight risk. I wasn't going to risk I wasn't going to risk more than 5 cents on that, and it dropped below. So it bounces at the VWAP. I might have another go, but I was expecting it to get above that $3 thing. So it's what was I looking for? BBIG. BBIG, it was horrible chart pre-market, but it's made a little bit of a pump, trying to go green on the day, up at 320s, 330s, or 329. Not huge volume, relatively speaking, but just be careful with BBIG. BTTX. 250 is the level. 255 is actually the hard level there. Just watching things popping up with very low volume. Yeah, just looked at BBIG, Amrit. Back to BBIG, if you like. So it's breaking 330s. Zoom out on the 5 chart. Had some resistance at 335 earlier pre-market. Pre-market high is currently 339. So range isn't huge. We're trying to take advantage of like the range here in a minute. You're going from about 328 to 334. It's a 6 cent move. It's very difficult to trade that in, within the minute. So you've got to look for the longer time frames with something like BBIG. Can't really trade that on the 1 minute. You've got to look for something like a 5 or a 15 minute. If you look at the 5 minute, you get much better range. A bit more patient with your moves. Does that red mean that I've shorted it? No, it means that I lost 125 bucks with it, Ronan. It means I cut my losses when it didn't pump. So, and on the 1 minute was still there. So I got in for the break of highs. I got in a little bit late. Actually got a bad fill is what it was, because it filled before it was actually there. I got in for the break of the $0.75. So I got in at 280, 5 cents, a little 5 cents higher than I wanted. And then when it pulled back, I got it at 275. Oh, I only risked 5 cents. Here you might get a bounce on the VWAP. It's all the way up. It's been bouncing on the VWAP, so you may get another bounce on the VWAP, or it may just break below it here. There you go. Max. Or volume. Ideally, I want to be seeing something with about 100,000 shares a minute, or 100. Might even consider 50,000 shares a minute, but 100,000 at least. Certainly not 4,500 shares a minute. $34,000 across the course of the day doesn't bode well. BBIG's gone green on the day. Pull back to the green level. Really, like I say, with BBIG, you want to be trading the 5-minute chart because the range isn't there in the 1 minute. The patterns are all the same. Entries and exits are all the same. Just the time frame is longer. So we've not seen any movement one way or the other on the markets. The markets just, they've opened and moved sideways basically. Slightly up from where we opened, but we're still down on Friday's close. So technically we're down. Society Pass is having a good day. Armando. Society Pass is had the announced earnings at 9 o'clock and then moved up. Tried to trade Society Pass and then it's broke down. It's having a good day, but right now it seems to have peaked, consolidating just under, well, just above the $0.50 level. Yeah, the range, Alistair. The lack of range in BBIG. So if you look at this, it's moved up from it opened at 317. It's gone up 20 cents in 15 minutes. So it's the lack of range, lack of volatility. Well, this is moving up, great, it's fine. But the two things we need to really take a profit is volatility and volume. And whilst I'm seeing the move up, it's not what I would call a parabolic move. You know, 20 cents in 15 minutes for me is a little bit. Zoom in. So. Yeah, so Amicus Therapeutics or Fold released earnings this morning. Not great numbers. Just hit the scanners. Did that move up? Zoom out. Oh. Back to BBIG. Okay, calm down. She's on the right on the other side of the room. I don't know if you can still hear that snoring. Yeah, absolutely, Alistair. So the two things that we need are volatility and volume. Volume being key. Now, BBIG is never short of volume, but you also want the range. You want the volatility. So if it's moving in with a particular velocity in a particular direction, then you can take advantage of it. But 20 cents in 15 minutes for me is not huge volatility. That's averaging kind of what, 4 cents a minute. Well, your CMEG and your Benzinga accounts are not the same thing there, Alistair, so oh, zombie. Zillow Group popped up. Low volume. Very low volume. At least we're getting some moves though now. Apron. Ideal. It would have been nice to get in that move up, but can't predict how the market's going to be. The BTTX did. I did move up. We missed that one here. Pull back. It's been selling off. Yeah, so I would say we're struggling a little bit to find stocks to trade again. But don't do what I did last week and just trade for trading's sake. Boredom trades are usually losing trades. Just remember that, guys. If you've got to wait for the stock, and there will be at some stage. I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday last week. Nothing moved until nearly 11 a.m. market time. So there's no harm in waiting for the stock to move, even if it's lunchtime before you actually get a consistent mover. Then yes, Governor, I do. But if let's again look at what Bitcoin's doing right now, and you'll see even Bitcoin's not worth trading right now. Look at it that's on the hourly time frame. Look at it on the 5-minute. Down at 33s, and you can substitute Bitcoin for any one of the crypto coins, and you're getting similar moves. Bitcoin's not having a great time at the moment. Got above 33, and now it's back down under 33 again. So we're getting a bit of consolidation around 33,000. But I'm looking for, if it drops below 30, I'll just add to my position. That's me and Bitcoin at least.
Ethereum's looking to say got a similar pattern. I'm not even going to talk about Cardano. And I'm really considering unloading my XRP holdings as well, because that's just doing nothing. In fact, it's doing the opposite of nothing. That's going down with the rest of the market, but it's not going to do anything of significance until that Ripple case is finished, and that's going to be next year. Could be Q2 next year at this rate. So 20 minutes in, there's nothing really, no big movers just yet. I'm just checking out these movers as they're hitting the signals. GME is down to 105. Even the 8 gang can't save GME at this moment in time. AMC is probably following suit. Yeah, that's down to 13s. Up in the $13 level. So it'll be over for the apes. Anybody that says the shorts haven't covered, really, come on, the shorts are well in the money. They don't need to cover, they're well in the money. Sign. Moving up nicely. Let's have a look at you. Not relative. It's not exactly relative high relative volume though. Right now. Yeah, well, I think I wish I'd dumped my Bitcoin this morning. Bought it back at 30,000, that is. Crypto's not having a good moment. There's some obscure coins that are going against the trend, but more risky gambling coins or tokens or whatever you want to call them. Nutanix just hit the scanners.
Anybody see anything that I'm not seeing? Because I'm not seeing anything. Difficult at the moment to find anything to trade. Swivel. I'll have a look at Swivel. What's it doing? 795. 8% up on the day. Oh, 5% up on the day. Lack of volume though. There's 230 shares traded all day. With like 5,000 shares a minute. It's moving in the right direction, but the moves are just not going to be reliable without the volume. So, unfortunately, whilst I like the upwards move, I prefer it with volume. That's Swivel. Society Pass never recovered once it broke the VWAP. PTTX got past that 255 level. Got a huge pullback, bounced on the VWAP, and is moving up again. Stop that. Yako. Stop that. Oh, that's an interesting chart. LMBD. Bit more expensive. It's an ETF derivative. Forge selling off. Over 5 minutes, over 15 minutes, we're getting kind of 5% moves. Nothing significant as yet. It's time yet, so we've still got plenty of time. Just a very sideways market in a lot of cases, and the ones that are moving are on very low volume. So we need volume and volatility. Without the other is useless. You can swing trade. You can swing trade with just the volatility. You can swing trade without the volume, but it's always risky. You're looking for a move based on a particular catalyst or news. UVXY. Well, because there's no trade there. Derivative as well. I don't trade derivatives, Marion. Right now it's very choppy sideways. You had this little spike here, then a drop, so it's very choppy sideways at the moment. So Be careful. Lady Pass trying to make a comeback. Sign picking up, but it's the lack of volume that's well, yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't think it'll go down 15 to 30% lower than it is today. Funko. Ah. Oh, Funko Pops. That's moving up. It's now 2% up. %. The music off for a while. It seems to be affecting the stream. Yeah, well, gains gurus, bear market, bull market, they follow each other. It's just a case of how long one lasts versus the other. So this kept most of its gains from last week, Friday. But there's no volume. We need the volume. As Mars once said, pump up the volume. Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance, dance. Come on, don't give me a nice little bull flag like that and fake me out. That's not what you want to be doing. Exactly what it did. Yeah, I've just cut one of the streams off, so I'm going to read from the phone. Hopefully that download stream will be fine and the upload stream will be fine. Unfortunately, at the moment, we've got this problem till Thursday or Friday this week. I'm on mobile data. So we'll see. So is sign or singen? I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's sign. Helps if you're actually in the montage, Tony. Doing too many things at once can distract you from making a profit. Just remember that. Just find that out. Me down there, or what's going on here? Oh, that's dangerous. Dangerous, Tony. Don't do that. What's the connection? Take half off. I stop at break even. Okay, well, we're 25, 20, we've made $25. Better than a kick in the teeth, I guess. Oh, just a little bit dangerous to trade with a dodgy connection. So just trying to make sure my connectivity is fine before I take another trade. I've stopped all the streams bar the important one. Or important ones. Right, what else is moving? On good volume. This is the best stock at the moment in terms of volume and moving. Yeah, this is really the top gapper. Pulling back a little bit. BTTX, let's have a quick look. BTTX up at 260. Up in 260 again, we're getting a little bit of resistance there, so 259 breaks this. It could go and test those high of day, which is 266. BBIG sold off. That initial run up and sold off. There wasn't even really enough range to take advantage of any of that. Society Pass. Tried to make a recovery, kind of didn't. All right, now Sign being the best one. I was ready to enter there, but I need volume to come in. There's no volume. A little bit of a pullback. But the lack of volume just worries me. So just watching for the next candle to make. We've got the doji on the 5-minute, which is usually a change in sentiment. The doji here on the 5-minute. Assuming you can see it better. See, usually indicates a bit of a change in sentiment or a reversal. So not 100%, but in most cases, that's usually a good exit indicator. And you see a doji, take some profits. This is why you look at more than one time frame as well. Moderna's got volume. Moderna's a much more expensive stock though, isn't it? So yeah, it's only 1% up. It's moving sideways. Yes, it's got volume, but it's not even got relative volume. It's got 1.5 million shares traded today. What does Moderna do on a daily basis? Let me just have a look on my little Benzinga. Moderna average daily volume 7.2 million. It's kind of 1.5, so it's not even good relative volume, Moderna. But it's not something I'm looking to trade right now. It's a more expensive stock. Help enough. I manage my account. Yeah, I think since I turned the music off and quit the incoming TikTok stream, it looks like I've stabilized the connectivity. So I'll just read from I'll read from the phone, the chat from the phone. Not as clear for me to read with these glasses on, but yeah. How's the SPY doing? It's very. So we're getting this megaphone pattern right now, so it doesn't really know what it's doing. It's going to move up and move it, maybe get 406.20 or something. SPY is not looking great. It's not looking very strong. Russell index looking weak. Nasdaq trying to get up to the VWAP, still weak. So, well, it's above the VWAP at least. We're still getting all of this chop. If you look at it on the 5 minute, all of this chop, sideways chop. Very choppy market right now. Guys, just be careful. Be very, very careful. Trading's risky at the best of times. Most people lose money. But in choppy markets like today, it's a lot easier to lose money than it is to make it. Sign 425 could be what I'm looking for. If it breaks the quarter dollar, I might be interested. In fact, I'll wait for the 5 minute. 5 minute confirmation on the 5 minute is 431. I'm looking for 431. That's why we wait for the 5 minute. A little bit of a bounce on the VWAP, but not enough range to take advantage of. We're looking for 5 cents. And the spread's 3 cents. Not possible. No problem at all. Up enough. Patience, absolutely. What is it Warren Buffett said, Marion? The stock market is essentially an instrument for the impatient man to give his money to the patient man. That's what Warren Buffett said. I'll paraphrase, but words along those lines. So it's difficult. Look, I've made $25 today, so it's not an easy day to trade, but at least I'm green. Difficult market conditions. Don't take any trades that are not setting up to look like good trades. Only take the good trades. Unless you're in a simulator, then take whatever you like, and it doesn't matter. But and just practice practice your quick reactions or whatever. But I would advise even if you're in a simulator, just take the good setups. Wait for the good setups. 45 minutes into the market, there's still time. The wind's blowing outside today, so well, I think I'll leave the market for a couple of minutes, buy a break, and hopefully we'll see something better. Give me a couple of seconds. That question. Yeah, I've been holding XRP for the last year and a half. Yeah, well, I don't. That's great. I don't trade the sub $3 stocks. Certainly not the penny stocks. But if good luck to you if you are trading if you are trading it. Tesla, it's down at 825s right now, following the market. This is your Tesla. Very choppy, kind of megaform pattern on the 1 minute. Just difficult trading day again. So give me a couple of seconds. I'll have the broccoli. Let's put the kettle on for a cup of tea while I'm waiting. Can't have this, baby. It's got chocolate on it. Okay. Society passed back above the VWAP. Those liking those less expensive stocks. Well, to be honest, let's see what Bitcoin's doing on the 5-minute. Still below 33. Did pop up a few minutes ago to 33.5. Bitcoin's not, just sideways up for the last couple of hours. Since about 7 a.m. it's just been trading sideways, really. Nice to get a bit of a pop on the crypto market. Just need some good news catalyst will be nice. There we go. That was the pop that we were looking for, I think. On the 5-minute. Bit of volume coming in as well. I want it to move above. We get in 428. $0.02 light. Didn't get the follow through, but let's see. It's time. First candle to make a new low was our exit indicator. Get it. That's not going our way. A little bit of extra profit. Extra $25. I expected that to move a little bit quicker than it did, so I'm just being a little bit tighter on my risk management today. If it starts to stall on its move, I'm just going to exit. But if you want to know why I got into this, why I got into this move, I was looking at the 5-minute chart, and we had this lovely extension bar up here, pull back, and then the first candle to make a new high was here. That's where I got in, but we didn't get the full follow through in terms of velocity. It's moving now, as as I'm talking about that. But again, it's not moving with real volume and velocity. So I think I was right just to get out and wait for a better setup. Sometimes the markets can be very stingy with what they give you. Sometimes they can be generous. When they're being stingy, you take what you can and move out. So current high of day is 440. Let's look for a volume break on the high of day. Again, we've got that doji there, which is never a good sign. Is it good to buy Tesla right now? Are you buying at a discount? Ethereum to 24K? Eventually, maybe. Not anytime soon. Yeah, Moderna is up, but it's a high price stock that you've got to look at it from a relative volume point of view. You talk about the high volume, but it's relative volume. What does it normally trade on any given day versus what is it trading today? And right now, Moderna's volume isn't mRNA. So we traded 2 million shares today. And what do we normally trade? Have a quick look. 9, is it something? So 7 million. So it's a third of what it normally trades on a daily basis. Now, will it get there by the end of the day? Probably. But that doesn't mean it's on high relative volume. It means it's on average volume. So yeah, I mean, the thing is with Moderna, I mean, it's a 300 million float. It's on average volumes. Yeah, it's moving up, but it's also expensive. So from a day trade perspective, with a relatively small account, starting like 21,000 today in the equity position, are you going to get the range moves to profit from with a 21,000 account? Maybe I can get 1,000 shares on that. Not even. I didn't get 1,000 shares on that. I've got a buying power of just over 120, so I can't even get 1,000 shares on that. So difficult. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not. Don't trade it. I'm not saying it. Don't trade it, Belpoon. I'm saying it. For me, it's not set up to day trade. That's just me and my strategy. The way what I'm looking for. You know, my strategy. Part of my strategy includes stock picks. You know, stock selection. And Moderna's not. Looks to me like the YouTube stream dropped. I've already said if it breaks 30,000, I'll be buying El Puno. No worries, James. I hope you're okay on the YouTube channel. Looks like it dropped, but you should be okay now. Let me know if you're still having problems. That snoring is this little ESP GPSI sprung up. But no. Yeah, we really are struggling to find stocks to trade today. Well, we'll stick with CYNE. It's the top top performer at the moment. My point of view. Well, 440 is the day high, so session high. Quite easily get a reversal at 440. Or get a bit of a rally. Not the volatility. Nothing halting, nothing. You know, I'm not seeing any volatility halts or anything like that. in this little flat top here. 440. And this. Me. So I've got an ascending wedge. Zoom out. Up below it there, but ascending wedge there. My take on Tesla, long term, it's just following the market right now. So I've got Tesla calls, funnily enough, 950 calls for June the 3rd. Not sure whether I'll get in the money, but I'm prepared to give it probably till the end of this week to see if they start to make a move back up. But Tesla as a company, I'm bullish on. I think you can't really go. There's very few of the S&P 500 companies which aren't worth buying and holding long term. We're just in a bear market right now. If we're in a bear market, just look at the way that the S&P 500 is moving as a whole, or the SPY, if you will, and then check your stock. And if it's differing from that market, either if it's differing bullishly and moving up more than the market is, then that's a good sign. It's a sign of strength. If it's actually differing from the market and selling off faster than the S&P, then it's a sign of weakness. Otherwise, it's just moving in line with the market, which is what Tesla's doing, which is what Microsoft's doing, which is what AMD and Micron are doing. You know, a lot of these S&P 500 companies might not be in a great moment right now because the market's not in a great moment. But I wouldn't worry too much about them long term. I wouldn't worry too much about Tesla or Amazon or anything like that. If you're in it long term, best just forget about it, put your money in. Only time you go back to it is to add to it. You know, bear markets come and go, bull markets come and go. But in the long run, the markets always go on to reach new highs. And the S&P 500 goes on to make new highs, and the companies within the S&P 500 go on to make new highs. So that's my talk. That's my take on Tesla. Chat's quiet in YouTube. Have I still got you guys in YouTube? There's very little action going on in terms of the chat. Let me know. Can you still see me? I know it did drop for a couple of seconds, but I'm sorry. Like I say, mobile data, which is why we've got no music at the moment. Not streaming the music, and also I'm not streaming downwards. Having to read the TikTok chat off the phone. Right. I deserve a cup of tea after all that talking. My throat gets thirsty, gets dry. back to sleep, start carrying on snoring. I'm not going anywhere. Well, we're a little over an hour into the market, and Thine has broke that trend line, so we're now getting not quite getting lower lows. 420 is the lower low, so if we break 420, I would say probably topped out. Good stuff, Glenn. Jobby. Yeah, so we made a new low here. So that looks to me like we've topped out on CYN. But we've just had a new comer to the market. BWV. Traded this a couple of times last week. Anchor this. Got 450. 449. Got a nice little flat top at 449 there. If Tesla do another stock split, just the nature of Tesla and the fan base, it'll get bought up. A stock split isn't a big deal. Essentially, what a stock split is, it's like you've got $20 and you go and get it changed for 4 5s. You still got $20, but you had a $20 note. Now you've got 4 5s instead. That's what a stock split is. It's exactly the same value, but you're just holding more pieces. And what it actually does is it allows the smaller trader, the less endowed retail trader, to get a piece of Tesla. Whereas I don't see right now a lot of brokers are doing fractional shares. But for the brokers that aren't doing fractional shares, it allows someone to buy a Tesla share for, let's say, $250 instead of 1,000. That's the difference. But it'll only be worth a quarter of what, if he does a 4-to-1, for example, it'll only be worth a quarter of what it was before. You're just getting a smaller piece of the pie for a small amount of money. Can we break the $0.50? Like that, Phil. We get to the $0.75 level. Why are my fills today being so absolutely trash? I pulled the trigger there at 51 and I got filled at 54. It's not like the spreads are huge. 3 cents. They're not great. So PWV moved, Blue Water Vaccines moved last week. We're in for 2,500 shares. A bounce on the VWAP, or do I get out? Let's give it 25 cents. It comes back down again. Oh, 30. Not interested in your Tinder dating site, but there you go. So whilst I've got that stop in place, I'll just have a quick look at the catalysts here. Yeah, they were looking for a stock offering for 2.4 million last week, but that looks to have been bought up. This moved 15% up in that initial spike there. See it back up above the $0.50. Spreads are widening, which is not a good sign in terms of volume. 6 cent spread now. 7 cent spread. We're testing that $0.50 level again. And can we break the highs? There we go. It's nice. Move my stop to break even now. Move it up. See this? There we go. It's nice. Move my stop to 60. So we'll make a little bit on this. This is now going parabolic. This is good news. It's like we're going to make a little bit of profit today after all. Only a little bit. I get me stopped out. First candle to make a new low. There we go. Sold. Right, there we go. 600 bucks. Had to be one. Had to be one. 600 bucks. That's all we need. At all? What do you mean? Which segment do I trade? A flopped up breakout looked absolutely odds on. Yeah, that's why I stuck at it, Alistair. Okay, if you say so, Ethan. I don't mind the pullback. What do you mean? Is which segments, which markets do you mean, Atul? I'm trading the US market, so it's the NYSE, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, that kind of stuff. NYSE and Nasdaq, which Dow Jones is the NYSE. Made a new high there, so we're looking to move up and break $5. We can. We've got 470 as our stop. So got rejected at $5 before. Is my entry at 587? That makes no sense. Oh, yeah, it is. But we got back in. Got stopped out on that one. Still 400 up on the day. You're absolutely right with that one, Matty. I was going to cut when it broke the VWAP, but if you check the level 2, you see the buyers coming in, so you got in there, which is why I held. the flat top breakout, the fake out on the flat top breakout when it pulled back. Ideally, I should have been cutting here at 440, the first candle to make a new low. When it came back down here, didn't help that I got a cut in the signal, the broadband. When it flushed, I was going to cut for the break of the VWAP. Then on the level 2, we saw the buyers coming in. That's when I held on to it. Changing your strategy mid trade, it's fine, as long as you don't do it too often. I would have made more, but for the if it broke $5, but it didn't. So that's when I cut back when it started to pull back. So I didn't risk 700 to make 600. I was risking 700 to make 15. But you know, you do you. It doesn't reach your goal. Doesn't mean that your risk reward was out of sync. It just means you didn't reach your goal. I don't know about Twitter. I'd have to see what comes out in the wash with that, because the latest is that he's going to be taken to court by some bingo association in Florida or whatever, on the basis that his consortium bought more than 15% of the shares. They're saying that his consortium triggers that poison pill. He personally didn't trigger the poison pill, but he's part of a consortium that they're arguing did. So I would wait to see the outcome of that. It's probably something enough. It's probably frivolous. But if that does get held up in court, then Elon's not likely to be buying Twitter anytime soon if that poison pill is triggered. I see a break of $5 here. It's the momentum stock right now. Is the top momentum stock. On the 5. My first 5-minute red candle. Not going to last red by the looks of it. Like it's going to turn green as well. Need a bit of volume to come in. I'm not seeing the volume right now. It's a slightly bigger volume candle than the last one, but it's the doji I'd like to see. It's been slight consolidation. Yeah, if the Granny's Bingo Brigade or whatever it is that is bringing that lawsuit in Florida, they get their own way, and for some reason, people from Florida seem to get their own way. I'm not going to get too much into politics. Rather like to keep the stream politic free, but yeah, that could have repercussions to the whole takeover because I can't see Elon paying through the nose for it and trying to convince the rest of the shareholders to sell. He did say that he wanted to keep it public, which means buying it and then refloating it, and the ramifications for that. But he's still going to have to buy the majority of the shares. Oh dear, I've just had a look at something. All right, this is the SPY. Check it out on the 15-minute. Done nothing but sell, or 5-minute even. This is the SPY. This is the wider market. Thought it was just going to range sideways for a little bit. More sell-off. I think we're going to break 400 on the SPY. The Q. That's already broke 300. Well, the sell-off continues. The market continues to vomit. The Russell, I'll probably get below 175 today at some stage. Yeah, so the wider market's looking a bit ouch. Hey Shando, how's your day going? Did it really? Nice. Sign it broke below this trend line I drew, then followed it as resistance, then broke above this flat top that I drew, and of course moved up. Nice little flag, move up again. Wish I'd seen that. I hope you capitalised on that, Matty. Don't rub it in, Alistair, please. Hope you capitalised on that move, Matty. Well, looks like 400 is going to be what the market gives me today. And do you know what? After last week, I'll be happy with 400. It's a society past it. Just moved sideways after the open. BTTX, similar thing, similar scenario. Okay, so a little while to go, but back up to 490s, or I'm interested in that again. Sign. Okay. No real huge volatility. Get a bounce on the VWAP. Dollar level just below the VWAP as well. Additional support. Which way were you trading it, Shando? Were you trading it short or going long? Nasdaq is down now. The Q is down under 300. Oh, just broke 300. It's definitely a day for short in the markets. Well, what are you going to replace it with, El Puno? That's the question. Do you day trade the equity or just leave it sitting there till the market turns around? Good stuff, Amando. Get green, stay green. That's the thing with we're getting a bit of an overall sell-off. Oh, there's the ice cream, man. Anybody want an ice cream? What else is moving that we potentially could take advantage of? What sign is the one that's had the momentum? PWV seems to be trying to hold the VWAP. Breaks that 450 level. It's probably done for the day. Or for a while at least. It's just what you want, isn't it? Bear with me one moment. Must I
get these scanners working again. Those scanners need to fix it on the YouTube channel now. Not having the best of luck with the technical issues today, but hey, look, what can you do? The final scan of it. Why is that not? Makes no sense at all. There we go. Guess I'm just not the most technical of people in the world. Why is this one making the move? Austin Gold moved on Friday as well. Had huge moves on Friday. IPO last week. Two. Right, okay, so this is Austin Gold. Top mover over the last 15 minutes on the momentum scanners. So 11% up on the day. Did 8.2 million shares a day each day last week.
on average. It's only 700, so it's low relative volume. Needs to make highs really. What's happening to the YouTube stream? Why? What's wrong with it? Had to back through the chat while I was reconfiguring the scanners. Well, Ethereum could be a good buy long term. Absolutely. Greetings, Mr. Buchal. I'm not sure what you're looking for in Gambia. We're not charging for anything. We're not selling anything. Okay, well that's you know I'm not actually selling anything here, Mohammed. Well, I do have a course. There is a course. If you go into my link tree, there's a course that which is designed for beginner traders. Doesn't matter where you are. It's trading the US markets, but you don't have to be based in the US. I'm certainly not. Okay, so this popped. Now it's consolidating sideways. So waiting to see if it does make another move. But we see all the volume, how it came in. So it gradually started to move up, and there's a volume increased. Then we got this doji candle here with the most volume. So now we're getting. We'll see the volume coming in with this. The break of 345, 350. I would hold on and wait for the confirmation at 350, $half level. Potentially could have got an entry here at 330. Move up 340. What else? SOPA. Who said that we're still watching SOPA? On the 5 minute, it's just moving sideways. I mean, it's not really doing. I mean, there's an argument for a slanted double bottom, but not really. We're trying to look for patterns where there aren't any at the minute. This one on the 5 minute, but it's just moving sideways at the minute. Needs to get over 267. So BWV seems to be done for the day. Sign also back below that trend line I drew. The what was resistance is now support. So move up. No problem, Mohammed. Right now, look, $400 is $400. It's $500 a day will give you a six-figure income. Just saying. So $400 is not bad. $500 a day gives you $2,500 a week. That's $10,000 a month. $400 a day will give you a six-figure income, actually. Oh, I can't grumble at $400 profit today. It's better than a kick in the teeth. And what I want to do is put a string of green days together, a string of profitable days together, and then I can start sizing up. I want to be tight with the risk management first and foremost, and then start sizing up. Society past 265 now. Oh, it went up to 270s, rejected at 270s. Don't mind that. Move back up again. I did say 266 was the 267 was the magic number. Get above. Tell you what, Alistair, I know the feeling. I went out with a friend a couple of nights ago, and it was my round, and everybody ordered whatever they did, and it came to paying, and I'm like, I don't like it. He's like, well, you're making loads of money. I'm like, yeah, but I don't like spending it. Just because I'm making money doesn't mean I want to spend it on frivolous things. Nobody gets rich by giving money away. Nobody gets rich by spending money. Say speculate to accumulate. And I say stick it in the back pocket. Keep it. Deep pockets, short arms. That's me. Austin Gold is still up there. Yeah, it's still moving up. Saw it down here when it started to tail off on the volume. Okay, so this could be interesting. But extended on the 5-minute now. We've got this is the 9th green candle in a row on the 5-minute. That last 5-minute candle was a nice one. Good range on it. 40 cents. Almost 50. Silly. Button. Risk 10 cents on this one. Austin Gold was an IPO last week. Wednesday, I think it was. Sold off every day last week. I've got my stop at 60. There we go. So I got stopped out there. Wanted to test $4 there, but we'll see. So, oh, we're still green, just barely. Well, I got the pullback. There was a little pullback here, so it went up to 372. Got the pullback on this candle, and 368 was the high. That's where we got in. 360, no, 370 is where we got in. Oh, we missed it by 2 cents. 370, we gave it 10 cents risk, which is essentially first candle to make a new low. Now we've got 67 will be the next candle to make a new high. We hit 67, so I'll enter there at 67. And first candle to make, if it makes new lows, I'll just exit. Always 60, always is 60. There. Keys. Supposed to be getting out. Low of that one was 55. Okay. Baked out with that one. Ouch. We got out at 51 instead of 55. Not a problem. This is the first red candle in 10. Yeah, first red candle in 10. So it was due a pullback on the 5 minute. Look at it on the 5 minute. First red candle in 10. Knew it was a bit extended, so why I didn't want to be risking too much on it. Not a lot else moving. Society Pass is up to 68 now. It broke that 67 I said before, which is a key level. This resistance level. Look at it on the 5 minute. You can see there's a resistance level at 67. So I said you have to get over there. So it's now 69. So needs to get over the $0.75 level if you're into Society Pass. Ooh, that was a nasty flush. No, that's all right. So I'm taking profits there. 800,000 in that one candle. Well, 20 seconds into it. There's some serious taking profits there. Be over 1 million share volume on this candle, this one candle. Oh, it's 5 minutes. Sometimes I think I don't know what I'm talking about. Pull all the way back to the green line. Almost. See if we don't get a bounce. It's a reversal, maybe. Take out there. Go some more selling. Anything else moving? It's one of those days, isn't it? Yeah, you can be quiet too. Go for a walk in a minute. 4:30. We've been streaming for quite some time now. 3.5 hours. What was a small red day? What was a small green day is now a small red day. It's difficult to find stocks to trade when markets like this. It's just lost all today's gains. Is DWSC moving today? Just seen the warrants hit the signals. Not really. That volume. Ranging sideways. It's trying to come back. Testing that 440 as resistance again. Proving an important level. Anybody see anything else moving? Mark's just decided to pop up, so that's the energy stocks. Are we going to get any movement on the energy stocks today? No, they're actually moving downwards. Yeah, selling off today. Well, I think that's it. Maybe come back for Power Hour later, see what's happening. As it stands right now, there's not a lot to do. I didn't have a lot of booze dodge, but weekend could have been better. A win against Spurs would have been nice. SPY still struggling to stay above 400. Have a quick look at the markets before I end the stream. So the SPY is, which is the S&P 500. It's trying to stay above trying to get back above 400 and stay there. Nasdaq or the Qs trying to get back up towards 300. Probably won't. All in a downward motion. To be fair, it's not as severe as it was last week in terms of the downwards motion right now. Could well be. Let's not get carried away. It could well be when we get later in the day, just as severe. Russell Index. And nothing looking too attractive right now to trade. Where's the volume? Cano. It's got volume but no volatility. Cano Health. Energy Vault. Let's have a look at. It's not the volume. Yeah, well, look, it's one of those days. It's been like that for a week or so now. It's been very difficult markets to be consistently profitable in this last week. Very choppy markets. We'll come back at Power Hour. We'll give the stream a miss. Maybe we should short a couple of things. CT. Problem with that, a lot of these is Palantir. How's that getting on? That was having a nightmare day. And I said that comes up towards the VWAP, short it on the 5 minute. VWAP fade was the one to use today. VWAP, yeah, still the same. And then so the volume's lacking, even on the short side. The volume's normally you don't get as much volume on the short side anyway, but
Even on the short side, the volume is lacking. Oh, okay. Get above 470. Make a run to the upside. CWV. Are we going to make some more? Volume down. Maybe not, but it's on low volume. Worries me. Break of the $0.75. Oh, rejected at the $0.75, it looks like. Actually, I went and watched the Doctor Strange movie. I was, to be honest, I wasn't overly impressed. I've been a big fan of the whole Marvel cinematic universe, but I don't think it lived up to my expectations. I thought it'd be better. It weren't bad, don't get me wrong, but I just thought the plot was a little bit thin. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a miss. I'm gonna take this snoring walrus out for some exercise and get some myself, and come back later for power hour. I may if I see anything moving later, then fine, but otherwise, I think we're done. Okay, guys, if you want to join me for power hour later, no problem. I'll see you then. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow at the same usual time.